Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of me cleaning the Ford Fiesta Ghia. As you can see, the interior of this car was disgusting. Not one of the worst I've cleaned inside by any means, but I really didn't enjoy doing this. Cleaning the inside of a car is rewarding, but it's one of the most disgusting jobs because on the outside you can pretty much wash away all of the rubbish and dirt. But inside you've got to really get involved and get your hands on, get cleaning, pick up all the crust before you hoover it, and it's just not my favourite job whatsoever. So this car's been used to ferry my cousin's children around, and as you can see they like to leave sweets everywhere, crumbs all over the floor. Obviously they eat biscuits and you name it, it's in the back of that car and in the front of that car, and it's pretty disgusting. So the first job for me to do is to get rid of all the heavy items that I don't really want to use the hoover on. So once I've picked all these up and thrown them in the bin, I then get out the trusty Henry Hoover, which is a really good hoover in my opinion. I've used all sorts of different hoovers on cars, and this one I don't mind bashing around, and it's a pretty good brand to use. So I've got most of the dirt from the carpets and the seats. The next thing I'll do is use the Auto Finesse Verso all-purpose cleaner. So this is diluted 4:1, and I've used it alongside my Viken upholstery brush. You can see in this 50-50 that the side nearest to the camera is very clean, and then the side furthest away from the camera that we're coming up to is really dirty. And I think all in all I must have spent around about an hour trying to clean these seats. You'll see in most of this video as well that I use the all-purpose cleaner for the whole interior of the car. In my opinion, I mean there's loads of different types of products out there that you can use for the interiors of cars, but for me any all-purpose cleaner really does the job really well. So once I finish that, I'll go onto the door mats. Now for this I'll give it the trusty whack with the brush to try and get all of the dust out as much as possible. Then I use the brush just to really sort of scrub the dirt out of the mats. After that I'll give the mats a quick hoover to try and get rid of as much as possible. So after that I'll hoover the mats and get rid of any of the leftovers that I didn't get with the brush. And again I use the all-purpose cleaner to spray down on the mat, and then use the Viken upholstery brush again on the mats to really sort of get rid of all of those horrible stains that are on there. So this here, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a combination of sweets that have been left in there for the last 3 years, along with an Apple AirPod case as well, so you can see the imprint of that in the video. I think I must have spent around about 15 minutes cleaning it out because it was so disgusting. So I'm not sure if you'd really class this as an interior of the car, but to me the engine bay is almost the interior because it's hidden within inside the bonnet. And to be honest, I wanted to break up the day, so I didn't want to spend too long cleaning the car and the engine bay and the interior all in one day. So I hit these parts of the car first, and then I cleaned the car the following day. You can see on the engine bay here that it's not been washed. I don't think it's actually ever been washed after 60,000 miles. And in all of the gutter rails as well, you can see in the overhead shots that there is leaves that I believe have actually turned into compost because they were very muddy. For the engine bay, I actually didn't use the all-purpose cleaner for this. I used a really heavy engine degreaser, sprayed it liberally all over the car, and then used various amounts of brushes, hot water and soap just to really sort of work in all the areas and get rid of all of the dirt. So once I've rinsed down the car and dried off as much as possible, I'll also use a leaf blower to really sort of get all of the water out of the engine bay, just for anything that's left over, and then give it a final wipe down. For dressing the engine bay, I use the Auto Finesse Dressel, and to me this is one of the best that I've used. It's really good on all the plastics in the car, and I spray it pretty much everywhere and try and wipe down as much as possible to give the engine a really good shine. So onto the rear of the car, and this I think was the worst part of the car. Even on the outside wasn't as bad as this bit of the car. You can see in the video here all of the mould that was just sort of growing, all the moss. I mean, it was disgusting. I think this took me about 5 goes to get rid of all of the mould and mildew that was growing in the car. So I'm going to leave you now with some final shots of the car after it's finished. In my opinion, it's come up a million times better than what it was before. It's by no means show car finish, but like I say, I was never going for that showroom finish. It was mainly to get the car looking a little bit nicer. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.